We discussed the standard node equations in the previous class. So let us do a few numerical examples related to standard node equations. We do example number 2.5. We have done example number 2.5. We have already done example number 2.5 with the help of standard loop equations. This is the same numerical examples. We are going to do the same numerical example with the help of another method, and this method is known as standard node equations. So we shall find out the current I1, I2 and I3 with the help of standard node equations, although we have calculated these currents with the help of standard loop equations in the previous classes, but we are going to find out these currents with the help of standard node equations. There is a single node in this particular circuit, and we shall write down the standard node equations directly in the matrices format, and we know that the size of the G matrix depends upon the number of nodes in the circuit. As there is a single node in the circuit, so the size of the G matrix will be 1 by 1. This will be the size of the G matrix. So the standard loop equations for this particular circuit in the matrices format is given by, we have G11. So the size of this matrix G11 is 1 by 1. V1 is the voltage at the single node, and we shall find out, you see, this voltage V1 in this particular numerical example, and once this voltage is known, we can find out the current I1, we can find out the current I2 and I3, and we shall calculate the current IG1 as well. So this is the standard node equations for the given circuit. Let us find out G11. For the calculation of G11, we consider the resistors which have been connected to the given node, which have been connected to the single node. So let us go back to the circuit diagram, and let us consider the resistors which have been connected to the single node of the entire circuit. So you see, the resistor R1 has been connected to this node, the resistor R2 has been connected to this node, and the resistor R3 has been connected to this node. So three resistors have been connected to this node. We calculate the conductance of the resistor R1, which is represented by G1, and G1 will be equal to 1 by 2. We compute the conductance of R2, which is represented by G2, and G2 will be equal to 1 by 1. We compute the conductance of R3, and the conductance of R3 is represented by G3, and it will also be equal to 1 by 2. So G11 represents the sum of all the conductances which have been connected to junction number 1, which have been connected to the single junction of the given circuit. So G11 is equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3. And you know that G1 is 1 by 2. G1 is 1 by 2. G2 is 1 by 1, that is 1. And G3 is 1 by 2. So this is how we compute G11. So let us consider this equation on the next slide, you see this is how we calculated G11. You see 3 resistors have been connected to the single node of the entire circuit. We calculate the conductance of each and every resistor, and then we take the sum of all these conductances, and the sum of all these conductances is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 1, that is 2 more. So this is a G11. And you see, what is V1? Let us consider V1 in the circuit diagram. V1 is the voltage at this particular node. Here is the node of our circuit. So V1 is the voltage at this particular node, and V1 is the voltage across this resistor as well. So the voltage at this particular node will appear across the resistor R2. So we need to find out this voltage, and once this voltage is known, we can find out the current I1, the current I3, and the current I2. Anyhow, we are going to compute IG1. So how do we calculate IG1? For IG1, we consider the source that has been connected to the given junction. So this source has been connected to the node with the help of this series resistor. So the voltage of the voltage source, which has been connected to the junction, divided by the resistance of the series resistor, gives you IG1. So IG1 is equal to 8 by 2, which is 4 ampere. So let me repeat it. The voltage of the voltage source connected to this junction divided by the resistance of the series resistor gives you the current IG1, and this current is 4 ampere. You see, this resistor R1 is in series with the voltage source E1. So this is how we compute the current IG1. So we have calculated G11 and we have calculated IG1, that is 4 ampere. We put the values of G11 and IG1 in this particular equation. So if we put the values in this particular equation, we get 2 V1 which is equal to 4. So let us consider this equation on the next slide. You see 2V1 is equal to 4, and V1 will be equal to 2 volt. Now we calculate I1, right? And how do we calculate I1? The equation is given over here, but let me explain the calculation of this current I1 with the help of the given diagram. So let us go back to the diagram and let us consider the first loop. You see, the voltage across this resistor is V1, and this voltage has already been calculated. So what we do, we consider loop number 1, and we assume that the current I1 is in the clockwise direction in this loop. If we apply KVL to this particular loop, you see, according to KVL, the sum of the voltage rises will be equal to the sum of the voltage drops. So E1 is the voltage across the source, which is a voltage rise. I1 R1 is the voltage drop across the resistor R1, and V1 is the voltage drop across the resistor R2. So if we simplify this equation gives you the current I1, and the current I1 will be equal to E1 minus V1 divided by R1. This is how we calculate the current I1, which is the current in the source as well as in the resistor R1. So we use this equation to find out the current I1. So you see, we have used the same equation for the calculation of the current I1. E1 minus V1 by R1 will give you the current in the resistor R1. E1 is 8 volt, V1 is 2 volt, the resistance R1 is 2 ohm. So there will be a current of 3 ampere in the resistor R1. We have already calculated this current with the help of the standard loop equations, and if you guys remember, this current was 3 ampere. Now we want to calculate the current I2. So let us consider this current in the diagram. So we go back to our diagram and we consider the calculation of the current I2. You see, the voltage across this resistor is V1, and the voltage across this resistor will be V1 as well. Why? Because these two resistors are in parallel. So the voltage across R2 will be equal to the voltage across R3. This voltage V1 appear across the resistor R2 as well as across the resistor R3. Why? Because R2 and R3 are in parallel. So the current I2 will be equal to the voltage across this resistor R3, that is V1, divided by this resistance which is R3. Similarly, the current I3 will be equal to the voltage across this resistor, that is V1, divided by the resistance of this resistor, which is R2. So we can calculate I2 with the help of V1 by R3 and I3 with the help of V1 by R2. So let us consider these equations and let us calculate these two currents. So we calculate the current I2. We know that the voltage across the resistor R3 is V1. So V1 by R3 gives you the current I2, and V1 is 2 volts, R3 is 2 ohm. The current I2 is 1 ampere. Similarly, we calculate the current I3. I3 will be equal to V1 by R2. The voltage across the resistor R2 is V1 and the resistance R2 is 1. So there is a current of 2 ampere in this particular branch. So you see, the current in the resistor R1 is 3 ampere. The current in the resistor R3 is 1 ampere. The current in the resistor R2 is 2 ampere. Let us do another numerical example with the help of standard node equations. In this numerical example, there are 2 nodes. So let us consider example number 2.6, which is the solved numerical example from my book. If we look at this particular numerical example, there are 2 nodes. The voltage at node 1 is V1 and the voltage at node 2 is V2. Right? So as there are 2 nodes in the given circuit, the size of the G matrix will be 2 by 2. We are going to write down the standard node equations directly in the matrices format. For this particular numerical example, we are not going to derive the standard node equations again and again. We have already derived these standard node equations in the theory, in the theoretical class. So we will use these equations directly to find out the current I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5. So we are going to consider the standard node equation for the given circuit, and these are the standard node equations in the matrices format for the given circuit. The size of the G matrix is 2 by 2. Why? Because there are 2 nodes in the entire circuit. We know that the size of the G matrix depends upon the nodes in a circuit. If there are 2 nodes in a circuit, the size of the G matrix will be 2 by 2. If there are 3 nodes in a circuit, the size of the G matrix will be 3 by 3. So these are the standard node equations in the matrices format for the given circuit. Here is the G matrix. The elements of the G matrix are G11, G12, G21, G22. We know that the diagonal elements of the G matrix are always positive and the off diagonal elements of the G matrix are always negative. V1 is the voltage at node 1, V2 is the voltage at node 2. We shall calculate Ig1 and Ig2. I shall discuss the method which is used to find out, you see, these two currents, that is Ig1 and Ig2. So these are the standard node equations directly in the matrices format. Let us calculate the elements of the G matrix. So we calculate G11. For G11, we consider the resistors which have been connected to node 1. So let us go back to the circuit diagram and let us find out, you see, the resistors which have been connected to the first node. So the resistor R1, the resistor R2 and the resistor R3 have been connected to the first node. These three resistors have been connected to the first node. So for G11, what we do, we calculate G1. So G1 will be equal to 1 by 2. We calculate G2. G2 will be equal to 1 by 2. And we calculate G3. And G3 will be equal to 1 by 1. So the sum of all the conductances connected to node 1 gives you G11. So let us consider G11 in the equation over here. So you see three resistors have been connected to the first node, a resistor of 2 ohm, another resistor of 2 ohm, and another resistor of 1 ohm have been connected to the first node. So we calculate the conductance of each resistor and then we take the sum of all these conductances. So we have 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. So G11 is 2 mho. Now we compute G12 and G12, and we know that G12 is always equal to G21. There will always be a minus sign with this conductance because these are the off diagonal elements of the G matrix. So for the calculation of G12, we consider the resistor that has been connected to node 1 as well as node 2. So let us go back to the circuit diagram and let us consider the resistor that has been connected to the first as well as the second node. So we know that G12 will be equal to G21 and it will be equal to 1 by 1, and that is minus 1. We place a minus sign with this conductance. So we have calculated G12 as well as G21. So let us consider the value of G12 over here. You see, we have calculated G12 as well as G21, that is equal to minus 1 by 1, and which is equal to minus 1. So let us calculate G22 now. For G22, we are going to consider the resistors which have been connected to the second node, and if we look at the resistors which have been connected to the second node, three resistors have been connected to the second node. The resistor R3 has been connected to the second node. The resistance R4 has been connected to the second node as well, and the resistor R5 has been connected to the second node as well. So we calculate the conductance of each resistor, and then we take the sum of all these conductances, which will give you G22. So G22 will be equal to the conductance of R3, which is represented by G3, the conductance of R4 plus the conductance of R4, which is represented by G4, plus the conductance of R5, which is represented by G5. So G22 will be equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 1, that is equal to 2 more. So G22 is 2 more as well. G11 is 2 more and G22 is 2 more as well. So we have calculated G11, which is 2 more. We have calculated G12, which is always equal to G21, that is minus 1. And we have calculated G22, and you see G22 is also equal to 2 more. So we calculate Ig1. All right. So let us calculate Ig1. For Ig1, we consider the source which has been connected to the first node. So you see, this voltage source has been connected to the first node with the help of this series resistor. So the voltage of the voltage source which has been connected to the first node divided by the resistance of the series resistor will give you Ig1. So Ig1 will be equal to 5 ampere, right? So we consider the voltage of the voltage source which has been connected to the first node, and we divide the voltage of this source by the resistance of the resistor that is in series with this voltage source. So Ig1 is 5 ampere. Excuse me. So we have calculated Ig1, and Ig1 is basically equal to the voltage of the voltage source that has been connected to the first node, and we divide this voltage by the resistance of the resistor which is in series with this voltage source. So the voltage of the voltage source which has been connected to the first node is 10 volt, and the resistance of the series resistor is 2. So Ig1 is 5 ampere. For Ig2, we consider the source that has been connected to the second node. You see, here is the second node, and no voltage source or no current source has been connected to this node. So the voltage of the voltage source which has been connected to the second node is 0. 0 divided by any resistance will give you 0. So as no voltage source or current source has been connected to the second node, so Ig2 will be equal to 0 ampere. Why? Because no voltage source or no current source have been connected to the second node of the given circuit. So we put all these values in these equations. So we have calculated all the elements of the G matrix. We have calculated Ig1 and Ig2. We put the values in these equations, and we calculate V1 and V2 with the help of Cramer's rule. So let us put the values in these equations. So we put the values in the previous equations. These are the standard loop equations for our circuit. You see, these are the standard loop equations for our circuit. The size of the G matrix is 2 by 2y because there are 2 nodes in our circuit. So G11 is 2 more, G12 is minus 1 more, G21 is minus 1 more, G22 is 2 more, Ig1 is 5 ampere, Ig2 is 0 ampere. So these are the standard node equations for the given circuit. We calculate V1 and V2 with the help of Cramer's rule. So let us apply Cramer's rules to find out V1 and V2. So for the calculation of V1, we replace the first column of the G matrix by Ig1 and Ig2. The second column remains unchanged. We divide this determinant by the determinant of the G matrix, and the determinant of the G matrix turns out to be 3. So 10 by 3 gives you 3.33 volts. So V1 comes out to be 3.33 volts. For V2, we replace the second column of the G matrix by Ig1 and Ig2. The first column remains unchanged. We divide this determinant by the determinant of the G matrix, and V2 comes out to be 1.66. So we calculate the current I1, the current I2, the current I3, the current I4, and the current I5 now. You see, I1 will be equal to E1 minus V1 divided by R1. E1 is 10 volt, V1 is 3.33, R1 is 2. So we have 6.67 divided by 2. So I1 is 3.33 ampere. We calculate I2. The voltage across R2 is V1. So I2 is equal to V1 by R2. So we have 3.33 divided by 2, which gives you a current of 1.66 ampere. Now we calculate the current I3. The current I3 is equal to V1 minus V2 by R3. V1 is 3.33, V2 is 1.66, R3 is 1 ohm. So there is a current of 1.66 ampere in the resistor R3. We compute the current I4. We know that the voltage across R4 is V2. So V2 by R4 gives you the current I4, and this current is 1.66 divided by 2, that is 0.835 ampere. And finally, we calculate the current I2. We know that the voltage across the resistor R5 is V2. So V2 by R5 gives you the current I5, and this current is 0.835 ampere. Let us do another numerical example, and there are three loops in this numerical example, and there are two nodes in this numerical example. We have already done this numerical example with the help of standard loop equations, but we are going to do it with a different method that is known as standard node equations. So we are going to find out, you see, we are going to find out the current I1, the current I3, and the current I5 with the help of standard node equations. So we are going to write down the standard node equations for this particular circuit directly in the matrices format, as there are two nodes in this particular circuit. So the size of the G matrix will be 2 by 2. The voltage at node 1 is V1. It means that the voltage across R2 is V1. Similarly, the voltage at node 2 is V2. It means that the voltage across R4 is V2. So we are going to write down the standard node equations for the given circuit in the matrices format. So these are the standard node equations for the given circuit. The size of the G matrix is 2 by 2. We will calculate Ig1 and Ig2. So let us calculate the elements of the G matrix. We calculate G11. For G11, we consider all the resistors which have been connected to the first node. So let us go back to the circuit diagram and let us see how many resistors have been connected to the first node. So here is the first node. This resistor has been connected to the first node. The resistor R2 has been connected to the first node, and the resistor R3 has been connected to the first node. So we calculate the conductance of R1, which is represented by G1. We calculate the conductance of R2, which is represented by G2. We calculate the conductance of R3, which is represented by G3. And we take the sum of all these conductances, the sum of all the conductances which have been connected to the first node, and the sum of all the conductances connected to the first node is represented by G11. So you see, G1 will be equal to 1 over 6. So G11 will be equal to 1 over 6 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 8. 18. So we will simplify, you see, the right hand side for G11. Anyhow, let us consider this equation in the solution of this numerical example. This is a solved numerical example from my book. So I would request you guys to have the book. So you see, G11 basically gives you the sum of all the conductances connected to node 1. We have 1 over 6 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 18, and we get 0.422 more. Then for the calculation of G21 or G12, we consider the resistor which has been connected to the first as well as the second node, and the resistor which has been connected to the first as well as the second node is 1 over 18. So G12 or G21 will be equal to minus 1 over 18. So you see, let us consider G12 over here. So G12 is always equal to G21. There is always a minus sign with this conductance. So it is equal to minus 1 over 18, and we have minus 0.055 more. For the calculation of G22, we consider all the resistors which have been connected to the second node. So we will check, you see, these resistors in the circuit diagram after a while. So you guys will see that the resistor of 4 ohm, another resistor of 4 ohm, and this resistor of 18 ohm have been connected to the second node. So let us consider these resistors in the circuit diagram. You see, here is the second node, the resistors of 18 ohm, this resistor of 4 ohm, and this resistor of 4 ohm have been connected to the second node. So G22 will be equal to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 18 more. So this is how we calculate G22. So let us consider the value of G22 over here. You see, this is G22. G22 is equal to 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 18, that is 0.505. So we have calculated the 4 elements of the G matrix. Now let us find out Ig1 and Ig2. So for Ig1, we consider the source which has been connected to junction number 1 or node number 1, and we divide the voltage of the voltage source, we divide the voltage of this voltage source by the resistance of the resistor which is in series with this voltage source. So you guys will see that the voltage source E1 has been connected. You see, this voltage source of 50 volt has been connected to the first node with the help of this series resistor of 6 ohm. So the voltage of the voltage source which has been connected to the first node divided by the resistance of the series resistor will give you the current Ig1. So Ig1 will be equal to E1 by R1, which is 50 divided by 60. For Ig2, we consider the source which has been connected to the second node. Here is the second node, and you see no source has been connected to the second node. So automatically Ig2 will be 0 ampere. This is how we compute Ig1 and Ig2 in this particular method. So let us calculate, consider Ig1. Ig1 is 50 divided by 6, which is 8.33 ampere, and Ig2 is 0 ampere. Why? Because no source has been connected to the second node of the given circuit. So what we do, we put all these values in the standard node equations. These are the standard node equations, and we put the values in these equations. So let us put the values in these equations. Here are the standard node equations for the given circuit. G11 is 0.422, G12 is minus 0.055. G21 is minus 0.055. G22 is 0.505. Ig1 is 8.33 ampere. Ig2 is 0 ampere. So we calculate V1 and V2 with the help of Cramer's rules. So let us calculate V1 with the help of Cramer's rules. For V1, we replace the first column of the G matrix by Ig1 and Ig2. The second column of the G matrix remains unchanged. We divide this determinant by the determinant of the G matrix. So V1 is equal to 4.208 divided by 0.21. V1, which is the voltage at node 1, is 20 volt. Let us find out V2. For V2, we replace the second column of the G matrix by Ig1 and Ig2. The first column remains unchanged. We divide this determinant by the determinant of the G matrix, and the determinant of the G matrix is 0.21. So V21 turns out to be 2 volts. So now we calculate I1. I1 is the current in R1, and the current in R1 is equal to E1 minus V1 by R1. E1 is 50 volt, V1 is 20 volt, R1 is 6. We calculate the current in this resistor, and there is 5 ampere. So we have already calculated this current. This current was 5 ampere. Let us calculate I2. Let us calculate I2. Okay, let us calculate I3. I2 is not required. So I3 is the current in the resistor R3, and that will be equal to V1 minus V2 divided by R3. V1 is 20 volt, V2 is 2 volt, R3 is 18. So there is a current of 1 ampere in this resistor of 18 ohm. Let us find out I5. I5 is the current in R5. The voltage across R5 is V2. So V2 by R5 will give you the current. V2 is 2 volt, R5 is 4. So there is a current of 0.5 ampere in this particular resistor R5. So these are the solved numerical example from my book. You guys can go through these numerical example. Now I am going to do a few numerical example from the book of Basic Electrical Engineering, 5th edition by Fitzgerald. So these numerical questions are from another book which is included in our recommended books. So you have the book. Anyhow, we consider example number 2.5. In example number 2.5, we have got, you see, 3 nodes. Here is node A, here is node B, and here is node C. You see a voltage source. There is a voltage source of 12 volt in this particular circuit, and there is a current source of 9 ampere in the given circuit. And what is the requirement? What is the requirement of this particular question? The question says calculate the current in the source, and in the book this current is represented by IA. So we are going to find out, you see, this current with the help of standard node equations. So we shall write down the standard node equation for this particular circuit directly in the matrices format. You see, as there are 3 nodes in this particular circuit, the size of the G matrix will be 3 by 3. So let us consider the standard node equations in the matrices format for this particular equation. You see the size of the G matrix is 3 by 3. Here is G11, here is G12, here is G13, here is G21, here is G22, here is G23, here is G31, here is G32, and here is G33. Let me change the color for your convenience. So I am going to change the color of my marker. Okay, let me select the black color over here. Okay, so let us calculate G11. For G11, we consider the resistors which have been connected to the first node, that is node A. So if you look at, you see G11, if you look at G11, if you focus on the value of G11, you see the resistor of 2 ohm, a resistor of 4 ohm, and another resistor of 4 ohm have been connected to this particular node. Anyhow, let me consider these resistors in the circuit diagram. So we go back to the circuit diagram and we consider the first node, that is node A. So here is node A. You see this resistor, let me change the color first. So here is node A. You see this resistor of 4 ohm, this resistor of 2 ohm, and this resistor of 4 ohm and have been connected to the first node. So we have 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4, that is G11. So you see three resistors have been connected to the first node. Three resistors have been connected to the first node. You see this resistor of 2 ohm, this resistor of 4 ohm, and this resistor of 4 ohm. So this is the value of G11. Now for G12, we know that G12 is always equal to G21. We consider the resistor which has been connected to the first as well as the second node. So let us consider the circuit diagram. Here is the circuit diagram. If you look at the circuit diagram, here is the first node and here is the second node, and this resistor has been connected to the first as well as the second node. So G12, which is always equal to G21, will be equal to minus 1 by 2, right? So G12 as well as G21 is 1, G21 is minus 1 by 2. Let us consider G13, which is always equal to G31. So we consider for G13, we consider the resistor which has been connected to the first as well as the third node of the given circuit. So if we look at the circuit diagram, you see this resistor of 4 ohm has been connected to the first as well as the third node. Here is the third node, here is the first node. So G13, which is equal to G31, will be equal to minus 1 by 4, right? So this is how we calculate G13 and G31. So we have calculated G13 as well as G31. So let us calculate G22. This is the value of G22, and if you focus on the value of G22, we conclude that a resistor of 2 ohm, a resistor of 5 ohm, and a resistor of 10 ohm have been connected to the second node. So for G22, we consider all the resistors which have been connected to the second node. So you see this resistor of 2 ohm, this resistor of 10 ohm, and this resistor of 5 ohm have been connected to the second node. So G22 will be equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 10 plus 1 by 5. This is the value of G22. We take the sum of all the conductances which have been connected to the second node. So let us consider this value over here. You see G22 is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 10. Then we consider the value of G23. We know that G23 will always be equal to G32, and for G23, which is always equal to G32, we consider the resistor which have been connected to the second as well as the third node, and we calculate the conductance of this resistor. So let us consider the second node. Here is the second node, here is the third node, and this resistor have been connected to the second as well as the third node. So minus 1 over 5 will be G23 as well as G32. So finally we calculate G33, and for the calculation of G33 we consider all the resistors which have been connected to the third node of the given circuit. So the resistor of 4 ohm, this resistor of 5 ohm, and this resistor of 2 ohm have been connected to the third node. So G33 will be equal to 1 over 4 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 20. This is your G33. So let us consider the value of G33 in the standard node equations once again. So here is G33. You see 1 over 20 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 4 gives you the value of G33. So let us consider the values of this G matrix once again. Here is G11, here is G12, here is G13, here is G21, here is G22, here is G23, here is G31, here is G32, and here is G33. Well, we will calculate IG1, IG2, and IG3. So for IG1, let us consider the sources which have been connected to the first node. If you consider the first node, two sources have been connected to the first node. This voltage source has been connected with the help of a series resistor of 4 ohm to the first node, and this current source has been connected to the first node as well. So the current of the current source is moving away from the node. If the current of the current source is moving away from the node, this current will be negative. If the current of the current source is moving towards the node, it will be positive. So for the current IG1, we consider this source, so that is 12, we divided by the resistance of the series resistor. So this 4 ohm resistor is in series with the voltage source, and we consider this source as well. Why? Because this source has been connected to the first node as well. As the current is moving away from the node, so we have minus 9. If you look at the value of IG1 in the standard node equations, the value of IG1 was 12 by 4 minus 9. Let me consider it once again. So you see, we have 12 by 4 minus 9. Let us consider the value of IG2, which is 0. Why it is 0? I am going to explain it with the help of the circuit diagram. So here is the second node, and you see no voltage source or current source have been connected to the second node. This is why IG2 is 0. Why? Because no voltage source or no current source has been connected to the second node. Finally, we calculate IG3, and for IG3 what we do, we consider all the sources connected to node 3. Here is node 3, and only one source has been connected to this third node, that is the current source. As the current of the current source is moving towards the node, so this current will be positive, it will be 9 ampere. So we have calculated the current IG3 as well. So these are the standard loop equations for this particular circuit. Let us simplify the values on the next slide. So anyhow, we simplify the values as well. Let me consider the G matrix for you guys, okay? Here are the elements of the G matrix. G11 is 1 mho, G12 is minus 0.5, G13 is minus 0.25, G21 is minus 0.5, G22 is 0.8, G23 is minus 0.2, G31 is minus 0.25, G32 is minus 0.2, and G33 is 0.5. So we calculate VA. Why? Because VA is required only. I will let you know how VA is required. For the calculation of VA, we replace the first column of the G matrix by IG1, IG2, and IG3. The second column as well as the third column remains unchanged. We divide this determinant by the determinant of the G matrix, so we get the value of VA. So VA comes out to be 4 volt, and then we calculate IA. So let us consider the calculation of IA, and for the calculation of IA we consider the circuit diagram. Here is the circuit diagram. You see the voltage of the voltage source, which is on one side of this resistor, is 12 ohm, and this VA is 4. So the voltage across this 4 ohm resistor will be 12 minus VA, and we divided by 4. So the voltage difference across this 4 ohm resistor will be 12 minus VA, and divided by 4 will give you the current IA. So this is the equation for the calculation of the current IA. So let us consider the calculation of the current IA. So IA will be equal to 12 minus VA, which is the potential difference across this resistor of 4 ohm, and VA is 4, so there will be a current of 2 ampere in this particular circuit. So this is how we calculate the current IA. Let us consider another numerical example. This is question number 2.2 from the exercise of chapter number 2. The book is Basic Electrical Engineering. The author of the book is Fitzgerald. The edition of the book is 5th edition. So in this particular example, we need to calculate VB, the voltage at this particular node. Anyhow, we are going to solve this numerical example with the help of standard node equations. And there are 3 nodes in this particular circuit. So the size of the G matrix will be 3 by 3. So we consider the standard node equation for this particular circuit in the matrices format. The size of the G matrix will be 3 by 3. Anyhow, you see here is the G matrix. I have not mentioned the G matrix. These are the values of the G. Let me consider the G matrix once again. So here is the G matrix. Here are the values of the G matrix. Here is G11, here is G12, here is G13, here is G21, here is G22, here is G23, here is G31, here is G32, and here is G33. So anyhow, we are going to calculate G11, and you see G11 is 0.07. So for the calculation of G11, we consider all the resistors which have been connected to node 1. You see 2 resistors have been connected to node A. Here is node A, this resistor of 50 ohm and this resistor of 20 ohm. So 1 over 50 plus 1 over 20 will give you G11. So G11 is 1 over 50 plus 1 over 20. Here is G11, 1 over 50 plus 1 over 20 is 0.07 mho, which is G11. For G12 and G21, we consider the resistor which has been connected to the first as well as third node. So let us which has been connected. We consider the resistor which has been connected to the first as well as second node. So let us consider the circuit diagram. Here is the first node. Here is the second node, and this resistor has been connected to the first as well as the second node. So G12 as well as G21 will be minus 1 over 20. G12 as well as G21 is minus 1 over 20. So for G13 and G31, we consider the resistor which has been connected to the first as well as third node. So let us consider the first and third node of the circuit, and no single resistor has been connected to the first as well as third node. So G13 will be 0. So G13 is 0. Why? Because no resistor has been connected to the first as well as third node of this particular circuit. We consider G22, and for G22 we consider all the resistors which have been connected to the second node. So let us consider the second node of the circuit, and let us calculate G22. Here is the second node, the resistor of 20 ohm, this resistor of 10 ohm, and this resistor of 40 ohm have been connected to the second node. So G22 will be equal to 1 over 20 plus 1 over 10 plus 1 over 40. So G22 is 1 over 20 plus 1 over 10 plus 1 over 40, which is 0.175 mho. We go to the next slide and we calculate G23. We know that G23 will always be equal to G32, and we consider the resistance of the resistor which has been connected to the second as well as the third node. So we go back to the circuit diagram. We consider the second as well as the third node, and you see this resistor of 40 ohm has been connected to the second as well as the third node. So minus 1 over 40 will give you G23. So G23 which is equal to G32 is minus 1 over 40, and minus 1 over 40 is minus 0.025. For G33, we consider all the resistors which have been connected to the third node, and you guys will see that only 2 resistors have been connected to the third node. Where is the circuit diagram? Here is the circuit diagram. And where is the third node? Here is the third node. And you see this resistor of 40 ohm and this resistor of 1 over 20 ohm have been connected to the third node. So G33 will be equal to 1 over 40 plus 1 over 120. So let us consider the value of G33 in this particular slide. So you see 2 resistors have been connected to the third node, the resistor of 40 ohm and the resistor of 120 ohm. So G33 will be equal to 1 over 40 plus 1 over 120, which is 0.33 mho. So we calculate Ig1. For the calculation of Ig1, we consider the source which has been connected to the first node. So here is the first node, and this current source has been connected to the first node, and the current of this current source is moving towards the first node. So this current will be positive. So Ig1 will be 0.6 ampere. We know the value of Ig1 now. Let us consider Ig1. You see Ig1 is 0.6 ampere. For Ig2, we consider the voltage of the voltage source which has been connected to the second node, and we divide it by the resistance of the series resistor. So let us consider the second node. a voltage source has been connected to the second node. So this voltage source has been connected to the second node with the help of this series resistor. So the voltage of the voltage source which has been connected to the second node divided by the resistance of the series resistor give you Ig2, that is 0.6. So Ig2 comes out to be 0.6 ampere, Ig1 is 0.6 ampere, Ig2 is 0.6 ampere. For Ig3, we consider the source which has been connected to the third node. And you guys will see that a current source has been connected to the third node. This current source has been connected to the third node, and the current of this current source is moving toward this node. So this current will be positive, excuse me. So we have calculated Ig1, Ig2 and Ig3. Here is Ig1, here is Ig2 and here is Ig3. So if we put all these values in the G matrices, anyhow, you see, for the calculation of VB, let me consider the G matrix first, and then I will talk about the calculation of VB. So here is the G matrix. G11 is 0.07 mho, G12 is minus 0.05 mho, G13 is 0, G21 is minus 0.05 mho, G22 is 0.175 mho, G23 is minus 0.025, G31 is 0, G3 okay, let me consider this G32. G32 must be equal to minus 0.025 because G23 is always equal to G32. So let me consider the value of G32. I think yes, minus 0.025. So I have made a mistake over here. Okay, so what you guys need to do, you guys need to replace 0.4 by minus 0.025. So this is not 0.4, actually this is minus 0.025, and then we have 0.033 which is G33. So for VB, what we do, we replace the second column. Okay, what is this? Let me write it down over here. This is minus 0.025. Okay, and for VB, we replace the second column of the G matrix by Ig1, Ig2 and Ig3. Ig1 was 0.6, Ig2 was 0.6, Ig3 is 0.4, right? The first and the third column of the G matrix remains unchanged. If we simplify the right hand side of VB, VB turns out to be 11.04 volt. Let us do another numerical example. Okay, we do another numerical example. Well, this is big enough. I will send you the notes of question number 3, and this will be your homework. So thank you so much. God bless you.